It might go live soon. Just so you know, to be smiling. It's taking a moment.
Got the notification on my phone.
Okay, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I am your host here, Chantele Francis, and here with my lovely co-host today we have...
Brazil. Hi.
Hi, Brazil. So if it's your first time on this channel, well, Reality Realness is all about reality TV, who would have thunk it, and kind of all the gossip that might go along with it. So if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Now today is the first time we're talking about Love Island.
Love Island. Hey. Love Island US.
Love Island US. That's true. That's a very good point. Now, what is your, we'll say, origin story about Love Island in general?
I started with the UK seasons. I think season 1. Yeah, and I thought,
Did you watch it in real time, or did you go back and watch season 1?
Half. So I started halfway through the season, and then so I had to go back on Hulu. I think it was Hulu, and rewatch all of them. And then continue on. So I was a little bit late, but I caught up pretty fast. But yeah.
Me too. So I don't know why I was searching this. I mean, because I'm a reality TV junkie, but I was like looking for a UK reality television show, because in general, I love UK TV. My dad's from England, and so I kind of grew up a little bit with just like knowing about the British culture.
Your dad's from England?
Yeah. He was
oh my God, my mom was born and raised in England.
Really? My dad, I think, moved here when he was like 8 or 9, so he doesn't have a full accent anymore, but all my cousins do. I used to go there for the summer, so I love England. I love that culture. Like, the humor is super funny. Their accents are always spot on, and it's just I don't know, I wanted to find another reality show that was from the UK, and so that's exactly what I looked up. I'm like, UK reality television show. And I just kind of was looking through, and like all the typical ones, like UK's Got Talent or whatever, or X Factor, like those things were popping up. And then I saw Love Island, and I was like, "What's this?" I'm like, "That sounds like something would be up my alley of some trashy TV that I'd love." And so it was currently, I believe, on season 3, and so I just started watching season 3. And like I went back to the beginning of it, but like it was on in real time. And I was like, what is this gem that I found? I'm like, I felt so honored that I was like, wow. And I'm like, there's still 2 other full seasons that I get to watch, and it's still airing right now. So while I was watching season 3, I went back and watched season 1, caught up, and then caught up to real time of season 3, like within that whole, I guess it was the summertime at that point.
You were hooked.
I was like, pardon?
You were hooked.
Oh, I was hooked. It was the best. Like, the couples that come out of there, a lot of them, like, I really, really like.
Yeah.
The first season was the blonde girl and Jonathan. I forget her name right now. And like, I just love them together.
No, was it Hannah?
It could have been Hannah.
I think so. She had the really big lips.
Yeah, I think Hannah and Jonathan. And like, I even love the commentator.
Yes. Oh, for the UK, he's so much better than the one we have.
He's so fun.
Yeah.
And like, I just loved everything about it. They were gorgeous. They were like in thong bikinis, like with this accent, like talking about love. They're really young, and usually like I don't care for seeing the love journeys of super young people, but I found that the people in the US or the UK, they want a relationship.
Yeah, they mature faster almost, I think.
Yeah, in that kind of way. Like, they might be obviously like 21 years old, but they're looking for a relationship, and the type of relationship they're looking for seems to be a quality relationship. And so, and I love the bromance that comes out of it. Anyways, I loved it. And as soon as I heard that the US was doing one, obviously it was a huge eye roll, because I'm like, are not going to get it, because it doesn't really necessarily translate with,
America, how dating is here, or anything really.
It's kind of like, I find, I could be completely wrong, but the North American relationship thing, it's more like being a player and more like being single. Like, they don't seem to have the same kind of values around marriage as they do in the UK. It seems like people, even in Europe in general, like, they want to get married. They want to find that forever partner from a younger age. And it seems like the people that are 21 in the States are not really planning on doing that. And so that's one thing that I found that was kind of different when it came to the US, but I was obviously, I'm going to give it a chance. So I watched season 1. I wasn't as hooked, but it was good kind of junk food, we'll say. How'd you like season 1?
I think I think that was the one complaint during season 1 was that the narrator was not nearly as good as UK.
Not funny.
Yeah, and I think it was a little bit harder to take the couples seriously in Love Island US, only because I know the dating scene here, and I just didn't. I immediately had walls up, guards up. I didn't trust any of the guys. Like, they're all lying. But there was one. I think the couple that I was rooting for the whole time actually ended up winning. Yeah.
Another thing too, that it seems like that they didn't seem to get with the format of the UK version. Like, the difference for me also was that it seemed that they broke them up too quickly, and like they didn't seem to allow relationships to really develop before they threw in like the newcomer that came to like break things up. And so whatever, I don't know if it's the time thing or if they're longer in the villa in the UK than they were in the States. I don't know what it is, but I felt as though the people in the UK were able to develop a little bit more of a bond before they would send in these distractions. And
which led to more drama and more fun, because these people have stronger connections, I felt, in the UK. So when they were making these decisions, it was much more intense than, oh, this person came in today, like, should I go with them and leave my guy that I only met yesterday? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
It's much more developed, I think. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I felt about season 1. So I watched it kind of like, I wasn't super dedicated, super loyal. I wasn't really invested in any of the relationships. I didn't particularly find anybody attractive. And I find that the people in the UK, I don't know if it's the accent, but they're just more attractive to me. Like, even the unattractive or less attractive men will say on the show, I'm like, oh, he's so cute though. Like, I love him. He has such a good banter. His banter.
Banter. And yeah, I think the accent definitely adds to it. And just a different swagger. Like, I think they're a bit more confident, which sometimes is too much. But it's not like a cocky confident. They're just kind of like, they are who they are. They know what they want, in that kind of sense. And that's more attractive to me than
the player culture that it seems like in the US. Oh, yeah. And the way that the casting is happening in the US. They look for different things in people in the UK than the US. And I know that, like, in the UK, it's a lot about like followers on Instagram already, and it's similar in the US, but I find that the people that are big stars in the UK, I just like them better. Like, I love Molly, I love Amber, I love a lot of the people, and I watch a lot of recap shows, and like, I'm interested in them as people, and I didn't find I was interested in the US people as people. I didn't follow any of them.
I was looking up the people in the UK seasons after, like, on Instagram and Facebook, and Googling them and seeing like where they ended up after the show. In the US, I was kind of like, eh.
Exactly. So I'm hoping, though, this is season 2, so there must have been enough buzz about it last season in order for them to bring it back. It's on 5 days a week, and it doesn't, for me, seem to have the same kind of like addiction level that the UK does, but I will still watch it obviously every day, or all the episodes. And I find that they did a better job casting this time. I like the people a little bit better. I'm not sure if I'm going to be following them afterwards, but like, so far with this first episode, I'm a little bit more interested in these personalities.
Yeah, I think they went to polar opposite ends for personalities, which I like. They're very humble, and then not.
So we were talking about this yesterday as to like, how can we talk about this season? Like, yes, we can go through the whole episode and, just talk about the things that happened in order. And I did take notes, obviously, in order. So we will maybe start that way, but we're also going to introduce this whole Love Island to recap as an opportunity to rate different things as whether or not we are going to crack on with them or mug off. And so those are obviously British kind of slang. Crack on usually means, two people getting together and like they kind of have a vibe and, maybe they're going to crack on as to like pursue a relationship. And then mug off is kind of when you give someone maybe attitude and you don't really want to, like you kind of bruise their ego, maybe a rude kind of like hand to face type thing. So we're going to go through the different happenings within the episode and decide whether or not we feel it's something that's worthy of a crack on or a mug off. You're into
Love
that? Lit? Yes. I mean, the first thing, just starting off in the beginning, I want to know what you think, is the pink convertible driving through the desert with Ariel in it dressed as a showgirl. So for context sake, the season is not on an island in Majorca or wherever they did it last year, but it's in Las Vegas. So what do you think? Was this a crack on or a mug off for this opening shot?
Absolute mug off. I've never been to Vegas. The weather is absolutely terrible. It's dry, it's hot. Yeah, that was the number one Vegas location under my mug off list. So number 2 is everyone sweating.
Oh my God, yes, Johnny's sweating so much.
Everyone, she's like, do I have sweat in my upper lip? I'm like, oh my God. Yes, you do. You all do.
That's something that I think that they would have taken into consideration, having like some cooling stations or whatnot, because like Vegas is hot. My dad lives in Las Vegas and, I didn't really used to like air conditioning, but like there you need it. And like even getting to the car, like it's just so hot in the car and leather seats. It's like burns. It's hot there. It feels like you have like a hot air dryer blowing to your face. And if you move at all, then you just start sweating. So I feel like they should have maybe taken that into consideration because it's probably 120 degrees in Vegas right now.
Like, I think the only other location other than Los Angeles really that's super open is Vegas. I mean, they're like paying people to come stay in hotels there almost.
Really?
Yeah. Like they'll say, 2 free nights for the first 100 people in. So people have been like lining up outside certain hotels. So I think Vegas jumped at the opportunity to make money off of one of their day clubs that's normally a pool party all summer long. So it makes sense why it's in Vegas, but I would be pissed if I was in Vegas instead of on a beach.
What did you think about Dre's, what's it called? Dre's Lounge? Dre's Beach Club. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that? Crack on or mug off?
I mean, I've been there, so crack on in regards to, how fun it is there. I think it's probably one of the nicer clubs they could have gotten that has a rooftop bar, but they're always changing. Like certain hotels will have a day bar or a pool party bar on the rooftop for 5 years, and then another hotel will start it. So, but I haven't heard too many bad things about Dre's. I think it's in a decent location. I'm interested to see if you can see them from other hotels, because I know you can see in the background.
You're suggesting like drone? Is there gonna be some drone shots of like people making out or something? For me, I thought I thought it looked great. So I'm gonna say crack on for sure, just from how it looked. I thought they brought the essence and the vibe of the villa to the beach house. I felt like the color theme, like I thought it looked really great. I thought it was very Instagram worthy. Like I thought, I enjoyed the look of it. If this was the original way that I'd seen the show, I'd be really thumbs up for it. So I definitely felt that even though it was in Las Vegas, we don't necessarily like that as much. the fact that it looks so good, and like I would love to be staying there, as like maybe different than being in Spain, but not bad for being on a TV show in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, no, and the inside of the house looked really nice too. Like you couldn't tell it was a hotel. It seemed, yeah. So if you don't pay attention to the background and you forget where it's at, it is very Love Island-esque, Villa-esque. So I'll give that to them.
Agreed. Mug on or crack on or mug off with them still being called Islanders?
Definitely mug off.
What do you think they should be called instead?
Landlockers.
Desert walkers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You can't call them Islanders, but going with the theme, can't hate it.
I was pretty impressed with the budget, seemingly, because it looked like the champagne that they had was Dom P.
Yeah,
Dom P.
Yep, I put that on crack on.
Yeah, crack on with Dom P. I mean, I like Cristal actually more than I like Dom P, but it's a tasty champagne. Like it's good.
I'll drink it any day.
I definitely noticed that label. I was like, whoa, you did too? That's so funny. Crack on with Dom P. If anybody wants to gift us bottles of Dom P, we're into it. We will accept, and we will drink it online.
Oh, yes. We'll taste test for you.
Do you have another one? Hold on, what else do we have? Oh, okay. What about the $100,000 prize? What do you think about this? Because in the UK, it's £50 for the winning couple. Person, if they decide not to.
I'd say crack on. I mean, for how short I think this season is, I think that's a very decent prize, and you're also invested as fans because you're voting on the app too. So I like that element to it as well. So it's not just up to the peers voting for who they think should win. It's up to us, and we kind of see everything. Well, whatever production allows us to see, but yeah, no live feeds. But yeah, I think it's a crack on. It's decent.
I definitely agree. And I mean, I don't know these people. I have only met them for this 2 hours today or yesterday. So I don't know if they're amazing people or not, but they just don't seem that, like, they're not going to do that something amazing with the money. It doesn't seem. So, like, that's a pretty good gig for some hot 20-somethings to go for 5 weeks to stay in a villa, like a luxury beach house in Las Vegas, and maybe win 50 grand or 100 grand if they decide to, like, be a douche.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, this is the best part, though, I think.
Definitely on good gig.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I would be down.
So one thing that was maybe a mug off for me is I really loved the Jeeps that used to come in, and the girls are on the Jeeps, and like they were always the cutest Jeeps of anything. Like they weren't necessarily Wranglers, which I love Wranglers, but they were like, what were they? The Land Rover kind of like half Jeep.
The Cherokee?
I don't know if they had it. Was it a Cherokee?
No, not Cherokee. No. Oh my gosh, my mom used to have one. Why can I not think of it?
It's not the Wrangler though.
No, I'm like, you can have the top off.
But definitely though, they had like in the UK versions, they would have it was a US version. They had the Land Rover or the Range Rover convertible Jeep-ish thing. And I thought they were cute. I just love Jeeps, and I think they're so cute when people are just like standing up in them, and like, I don't know. I love the Jeep part of it.
Well, it adds to the whole aesthetic of it. Like they're in their bikinis, they're on an island. Now I feel like they can't really drive up to Dre's and then go up 30 floors. Like
So yes, the luxury car is cool, but I was missing the Jeep action.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a mug off. Even though the cars were nice, like I love the Jeeps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The whole aesthetic of it, I totally agree.
So we start being introduced to some of our ladies. So we had, is it Celie or Selly? I can't remember.
I think it's Selly.
So Selly, she's 24, from Sacramento, California. She's a legal secretary, Latina, been single for the last 2 years. I didn't go through all of them, but she has 10.6 thousand followers on Instagram. And she likes the pretty boy. What did you think about her? Is she right off the top, or a crack on, or a mug off?
I think she's a crack on. She's actually my favorite so far. I think she's adventurous. I think she's feisty. I think she's, she's confident. She knows exactly what she wants from what she says. And I think from just seeing her interact, she's been very upfront with, any guy that she talks to about what's going on with her and, what she's looking for. I obviously appreciate that in a person. So, yeah, for sure, crack on.
Crack on for me as well.
Yeah.
I thought she was fun. I was getting kind of worried because I'm like, oh, she's 24. Because I just think 24 is a little bit young. But I know that they want like these Instagram models. And so it is part of the demographic that they're looking for. And they don't go that much older than 30 in the UK as well. It's just, I find that the maturity level for relationship wise is a little bit younger in the UK than they are in the States. So yeah. I wish that for more of them, they were a little bit, everybody was a little bit older. But
I'll give it to her. Being from Sacramento and having 10,000 followers is pretty decent because there's nothing in Sacramento.
Fair.
So I'm rooting for her because she's Northern California. She's not Bay Area, but she's Northern, so that made me like her too. But yeah, I didn't know she had 10,000 followers for Sac. That's pretty good.
So next up we have Moira,
yeah.
Oh my God. So fun fact is, so I work as an actor sometimes, and I was on the TV show Arrow. And so on Arrow, the mom's name is Moira. And so I was like a court secretary that was reading.
You were on Arrow?
Yeah.
What? That's like one of my good friend's favorite show. That's
I know pretty much. Like I know a lot of people on this show. So do you know who actually is watches Realnesss? Is Emily. So she plays Felicity on Arrow. And so if you watch the challenge, Fanta and her are best friends.
Oh, okay.
I used to take acting classes when I was living in Vancouver with Emily. And so like, we're not super great friends, but like, if we see each other, we'll be like, oh my God, hey, and like, hug and, maybe not hug now because of COVID, but we'd go and have like, get a glass of wine or something like that and catch up. So that's a fun fact. But anyways, so people had to tell me how to say her name so many times because I had to say this verdict. And I'm like, and Moira in the count of whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, no, it's Myra. And I'm like, wait, is it Moira or anyway, so I'm not actually sure what it is. Same name on Schitt's Creek. Do you watch that?
No, my roommate's been trying to get me to watch it, but I haven't yet.
Same name. I think it's Moira.
I think so too, because I'm going with the MOI for moist, and then Moy. I know, but that's just the way my brain,
Moira. So Moira, she's 28. I think this is a good age for somebody to be doing a show like this in the US for sure. She is a shopping channel model. I didn't know that was a specific angle.
I had no idea. QVC, I don't know.
Or maybe it is actually the shopping channel because that actually exists as something different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's called the shopping channel?
I mean, I don't know if it's only in Canada, but there's definitely, there's a shopping channel or the shopping channel network? No, there's a shopping channel. Yeah. Something separate and different.
I mean, I feel like I can envision what she does in my mind.
Of course, she's wearing that bag and she's showing how that bag has multiple compartments. And
yep, and there's someone walking around her, talking it up and showing all the,
They're spilling something on the thing. Yeah. And look at the ShamWow go. That's actually kind of fun. I just, wouldn't she just say model? That's so funny, but whatever. She's from New Jersey. She was in an 8-year-long relationship. And that's all I wrote about her. So is she a crack on or mug off?
Neither. I think for her age, she was pretty vague about what she wants in a relationship. I don't know. She seemed a little I don't know how to say it politely, a little simple to me. She didn't, I wasn't excited about her, and I don't really know where she stands or what she wants. So I was kind of
100%. I felt that she didn't fully pop. I was just okay, let's see what she has to offer because I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's going to be great for the show or not. I don't know if she's funny. Like, I just felt that I agree. She was just kind of.
Like you said, for her age, I was excited that she was that age and was my age. So I was expecting her to know what she wanted and kind of, and she didn't really go there. She was very vague. I wrote down vague in regards to type, vague in regards to type.
So whatever, Moira. We'll say mug off for now, unless you change your minds.
Yeah,
maybe. Justine. So she's our first Black female contestant, which is nice to see that some diversity is in here. I have found that both in the UK and the original Love Island US, that the people of diverse backgrounds don't seem to be as lucky in love on the show, or getting a very good committed relationship. And so I'm hoping that this will be better. I don't know how to fix and change that, because I don't know. Hopefully it's different, but like, I just don't expect her to be able to find a match. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, which is kind of sad.
Especially because I think she is confident. I think she's smart. I think she said she has her master's in finance or something. So I think she's smart. She seems to be on the wild side because she has a secret occupation. Yeah, she's like a go-go dancer.
She is a go-go dancer.
Yeah, but she still like talks about her family and how she has like strong family ties. So I think she's a crack on for sure. I actually really liked her. But I agree with what you're saying. I think that they need to, if they're going to cast people, they need to cast people with others that have the same type or are looking for the like similar qualities, because I agree with you already. The first episode, my heart went out for her. We'll talk about that later,
and also though with that too is that maybe an interracial couple might happen, but also the people that you cast also need to be open to having an interracial relationship.
Right. Or even if it's the same race, that sometimes like that's not what they want interracial versus wanting same race. And so that's hard to watch for me, because I don't know. If I was a casting director, I would do my best. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. I don't know if they do their best, but
I would want to cast people that everybody had the most likeliness to be liking everybody.
It's so sad otherwise.
Well, like if someone's type is blondes, it's kind of like, I don't know if he's going to be the best person to be on this show, because there's going to potentially be 4 other women that he's just not into because they're not blonde. So anyways, I wish they were a little bit more open-minded in the intentions of the people that they're casting.
And that's one thing I wrote for a mug off too, was I think it is more diverse than last season, it's still not as diverse as I would like it to be. Because in my head, if it's diverse, it's not everyone liking the same type of girl, even though they're different races. It's, like you said, having them all have like interests and similar types, and I don't know, not similar types, but open to every type.
I mean, they probably say that they are, but then they're not,
Yeah.
So another fun fact is that up until I moved back to Toronto from Vancouver, so in 2015, I was working as a go-go dancer in Vancouver.
Okay.
I was part of a go-go dancing troupe, and so every Friday and Saturday I would dance at different nightclubs. And so up until
did you get tips? That's the best part.
You get paid basically, like it was how much was it? $200 from 11 till 2, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, and sometimes you'd get tips and sometimes you'd get drinks. So, or both. And so, you definitely could make a few extra bucks. But it was like, $200 to $300 depending on the club, and if you did long or short sets. And then, you know, yeah, you got tips sometimes.
I mean, if you're 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, or you're serving for 6 hours and you make $250, like,
yeah, no, it's definitely a good gig.
Yeah.
The lowest I'd ever make would be like 150, but then I'd be like, but then you'd get like 5 drink tickets, so like it came worth it, you know.
So then you don't have to pay for drinks after work with your tips that you just.
I mean, I would never pay for drinks after work. Just kidding. Well, not kidding.
So but did that draw you to Justine more because you?
Well, I mean, she has a similar kind of story. I mean, my parents, I wouldn't say are strict, but I've always had a dance background. So me dancing in general was always fine. I don't know if my mom knows that I go-go danced.
She does now.
I mean, did my mom watch this? I don't know. But yeah, I'll show you pictures sometimes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Outfits, because like I also love dressing up, and so usually it would be thematic, and you know, I'd like, you know, this is like a hip hop night, so like, you know, you dress in like, you know, some hip hop gear, but like in a bikini.
Oh, so you change styles? I imagine go-go. When I think go-go dancer, I think like not flapper girls, but like more. I guess I'm thinking like Vegas kind of. Like show.
It would depend. Like if it was hip hop night, we'd dress a little bit more hip hop.
Okay.
Still like, you know, it'd be like thigh high with like thigh high boots with like, you know, leg warmers all the way up with like underwear, bra top with like gold chain and like a hat. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was still like not wearing
like different themes.
Yeah, that or like if you know I was doing like, you know, backup dancing for like a kind of electronic band, like I'd just look a little more hippie, like a little more like raver, whatever. So it just depends on what type of night it was going to be. So we'd be themed accordingly, and usually we'd all dress together. So like maybe the theme is that we're all going to wear things that are all pink or all neon or all lacy or all, you know, so different stuff.
Make your money, girl.
Make my money. I wish I still, like, I was always in the best shape because like you danced like hard for the whole night, and you're also wearing not very many clothes, so you also want to look in shape.
Yeah, so there's also that.
So we got Caitlin. So she's 27 from Michigan. She does promotions. I don't know if it's like a promotion like brand ambassador. I don't know what that means, but
I took that as like entrepreneur.
Really?
No, like on The Bachelor, like people say they're an entrepreneur. Like it's not really a. Or I don't know. I didn't take it seriously. Or like promotion, like she goes
and hands gum at the end of the concert.
Yeah, and she stands there like a Bud Light girl, like
that's like a promotional agency, and like promotional models are usually that, you know.
Yeah, I just take it as seriously as like entrepreneur that isn't really an entrepreneur. I think you're actually an entrepreneur, but I feel like guys just say that all the time.
Right, to look like they're working on something when really they're just unemployed.
Yeah.
So Caitlin, she's from the country. She's been single for 7 years. Obviously with her, she a crack on her mug off, but then also the fact that she says that she has a tattoo inside her lip that says psycho. So both of those things, is she a crack on, crack off, and is her tattoo a crack
mug
on?
Off, mug off, mug off, mug off, mug off.
Mug off for both?
All of the, I'm not fond of her too much. Just the way she was talking too, I think she might be a little bit sheltered, just from apparently how small her town is. She's like, good luck finding it. I wrote that she is enthusiastic, but yeah, I also wrote down psycho, lip tat. I don't know.
And the other thing that you dinged her on was the fact that I like edgy, like Zayn Malik.
Yeah, I like edgy, like Zayn Malik, and I was waiting for Ariel to correct her, but she's like, "Ooh, I love Zayn," but I was like, "That's not edgy at all."
I mean, I don't love Zayn. He's an attractive man. I don't love super coiffed like facial hair sometimes. Like it just looks a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
And then also, but I do love Pillow Talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that song.
The song's very good.
Yeah.
So
that's the only song I know of his. I mean, I'm sure if I heard another one, I just don't realize that it's his. But Pillow Talk is like, okay.
And then I was also saying that I'm more into Harry Styles than I am to Zayn, because Harry's like nice and crazy and weird, and like he's
mysterious a bit. I think like
he's what?
Yeah. He's a bit mysterious.
He's also Aquarius, obviously, so I love him. But yeah, I like his voice better, and he has more songs that I've heard that like I'm obsessed with. So I'm more of a Harry Styles kind of gal than a Zayn kind of gal.
Also not edgy.
I mean, Harry's edgier though, in the sense.
Yeah, edgier, but
more.
Still clean cut, but edgy. Like I think like edgy's like Machine Gun Kelly, or you know, someone with, I don't know, definitely not.
Neither of them. Anybody from One Direction is not edgy at all.
No.
So we are mugging off Caitlin Mackenzie, our second blonde, correct? She's 24, she's from Arizona, she's a student. She says she's sarcastic. All of her exes are millionaires, but she didn't really go out looking for that. But then she also says that she likes to watch the game and that eat pizza. She's just so down to earth. What do you think of Mackenzie?
She had me at sarcastic. She lost me at all her ex-boyfriends are millionaires. And then she got me back with the sports, because I, as someone that truly does love sports, I mean, I grew up Sharks, Giants, Niners with my dad, like season tickets in the Bay Area for years. So I feel as though she's serious about that, because I would never say that unless I meant it, because it's such a weird thing to say sometimes for a girl, just because that stereotype that girls don't really like sports. So I don't know. It took me a while to get used to her and kind of, you know, decide whether or not she was mug off or crack on. But at the end of the day, I say crack on.
Yeah.
I still am confused about her. I want to hear more. But she said she was also very private, which would make sense about her millionaire ex-boyfriend. Like, is she an escort? Kind of. You know what I mean?
I don't know if she's an
like signing NDAs, and that's why she's private. I don't know.
Ooh. I mean, maybe. Yeah, okay, for her, I thought she's really cute, really pretty. I don't typically enjoy blondes, just like as my own, like just like general aesthetic. Yeah. I usually would like someone that has darker features and a little more pronounced features, but I think she's very beautiful. I like that she's sarcastic, so that's a plus for her in my book. But it seems to me that she may be a little bit too high maintenance for my liking. It seems like she's trying to hide it and pretend that she's really down to earth, but I kind of think that the real deal is that she's kind of stuck up and that she's not that easy to get along with. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. This is just from her opening package. I don't know her at all. I don't want to offend her. I'm just my initial opinions about her.
No, I agree. I mean, if you say you dated millionaires, obviously you're going to get used to a certain taste and luxury, you know, so
yeah, I think she just might be a little bit phony, in my opinion.
Could be. Honestly, if it wasn't for the sports thing, I would say probably mug off, but I'm going to hold on.
All right, we'll see who's right at the end. Or maybe mine will change as well. Another crack or a mug off for me, just in general, all the women's swimsuits I thought were a big mug off. None of them were cute. I think the most interesting one, I think it was Moira's, was like the red one that has like the kind of strappy bits. Maybe the most interesting, but there's so many super cute, super cool bikinis, one pieces, cutouts. Like
one pieces even like. It was almost like they're not going with the trend right now, which is like cute one pieces or like, you know, the whole back cut out but connects in the front a little bit. And
yeah, like
that's what the UK had. Like I feel like UK, all their swimsuits were super cute, and then this was almost like a time travel back 10, 20 years.
I mean, I wanted to see the 80s style, like half thong, low back, like plain scoop thing. Like that's like so cute. Mm-hmm. And I was really like, there was like pretty much no bathing suits that I would like be like, oh my God, I want that one. I like the color of Justine's. Obviously I love neon bathing suits, but all the aesthetics I found were just kind of like dated, as you're saying.
They were dated, like not memorable at all. I didn't Google any of their bathing suits after. That's for sure.
Absolutely not. I was like, I wrote down like, whoa, wow, I don't love any of these swimsuits.
I think a lot of them too are
their own.
Are gifted in the upper region, so I think that that's kind of the look they were going for, more so than
Well,
a
that was
curvy kind of.
Other mug on or mug off, or Conor mug off, is that I think pretty much everybody had a breast augmentation.
From what I saw, that was the other thing I was getting at about not being very diverse. It was, at least in the UK, they had like really tiny girl with, you know, kind of very natural body, but, you know, no breast augmentation, no Brazilian butt lift or whatever. And then this was kind of like everyone had lip fillers, everyone had breast augmentation. So yeah, that's what I also meant in my mug off. Very diverse.
One person that didn't have, at least one person that didn't have a boob job. Was that Moira, maybe?
Yeah, I think Kate. Yeah. Moira or Justine? I don't know which one.
Justine might have not have either. I don't remember.
One of the two, but the other three, absolutely.
I definitely was like, okay, that's the type. Like some guys, like I only like girls with fake boobs. Like
yeah,
that's the type. And I'm like, ugh.
I think that might be why the bathing suits aren't as appealing to us either. Not saying, but you know,
terrible taste.
Yeah.
So we get to meet the guys. First up is Jeremiah from Mississippi. He's a sales associate, small town boy. I thought he was cute, but I thought he was too young. He's a bit of a mama's boy. He likes a booty on these girls and a woman that can cook. And I'm like, oh, because you're still a baby.
Because you're, what was it? Sigmund Freud, when you're looking for like whatever you want in a parent, basically. Like,
probably Freud.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. And he's like, oh, she needs to cook. She needs to, you know, look womanly, I guess. So weird. But yeah, I thought the same thing. I put that he's genuine though. Like I felt he seemed genuine.
But I guess I just didn't understand. Like, I think it's pretty universal that women, for the most part, especially when they're in their 20s, would prefer a man that's older than them.
Yeah.
Like it's usually not until they get maybe into their 30s where they've had many relationships where they might be open to having somebody that's younger. But for the most part, I find that obviously because women tend to mature a lot more quickly, they are a lot more open with their feelings and talking about things. So they're able to be a little more emotionally, have emotional intelligence that men don't seem to get as quickly. So the fact that he's 22 and the youngest girl is 24 is kind of like, I think it's a miss here. I think that I like him. I think he's cute, but I think his age for me makes him a mug off.
Yeah. And just the whole fact too, I don't know, I think it's important that, you know, my partner has a strong relationship with their mom, because I kind of look at that. I mean, I'm not like hating if, you know, you don't have a good relationship with your mom, but there's that fine line of, is your mom still control your life? Or do you just like respect her because she raised you to be, you know, a good guy kind of thing? And he seems to kind of still, I'm assuming still lives at home. She still cooks for him.
I'm sure.
I got that whole vibe for me, like you said, way too young. But I put fun, genuine, maybe Southern.
I just don't see him getting in a really deep relationship with anybody.
Absolutely not.
It's just, yeah, not for what I would be looking for in a relationship if I was going on that show. But for a good time, like see who you meet. Like I feel like he seems like a teenager to me. Like he just seems very young. Yeah. And 22 is quite.
And he acts very young. I'll get to that later.
So only Justine stepped forward for him, and then see how we're saying. So he seems as though he's biracial, seemingly maybe a mix with black and white. Mm-hmm. Justine is the only seemingly full black woman. She steps forward for him, and he does not go with her. Instead, he goes for Celie, who is a gorgeous woman. Obviously, I'm saying that she's Latina, but he did not choose the Black woman, which is kind of like obviously dagger to Justine's heart. And that's, I don't know, I don't think it's good TV
for them the whole episode, I think.
Again?
I said kind of the theme for the whole episode
exactly.
with them. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I mean, I can't really talk on it, but I think knowing how, like, you have to know how Love Island works. Like, you have to know that that just because you have a partner doesn't mean you're, like, you know, concrete with them. So I think if only one person had stepped forward for me,
I'd pick them no matter what.
Yeah. And
unless I really was vibing with somebody else, like
yeah, right. But I mean, right when they see each other, and if you're gonna go ahead and not pick her, but pick someone else that didn't even step forward for you, like, don't you think everyone else after you might probably do the same thing too? Which, yeah.
I mean, maybe he just was going for the drama. Maybe. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed with how that turned out just in general. So there'll be a mug off there. James comes in, 27, personal trainer from Florida, youngest of 4 boys. I thought that he kind of had tattoos to try and make him look edgy, but he was, for me, way too clean cut. Like,
yeah,
he was not.
I wrote eccentric. He admitted to needing someone that's clingy. That is by far the most polar opposite person for me ever. Like,
he's saying that he's clingy, or he wanted somebody clingy?
Both. He said he's very clingy, so he needs someone. Oh, he said something about having to, like, I don't know, something about cuddling and something's happened to him.
But I do think that I like his age. You know, he's not super young. I wasn't vibing with him, but I can see him like meeting a girl that he would connect with. And so he's still, I'll say, a mug off in my book, just because I'm not into him.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that at least someone of his age group is represented on the show.
Yeah. And I think he does know what he wants, whether or not it's the exact opposite of what I would want in someone. But he does seem to know what he wants. So I'll give that to him. He's going to be just like Moira, I don't know, like hit or miss. We'll see.
So nobody steps forward for him, obviously. Like, it seems.
I know. I love Ariel too. She called out, was it Caitlin? She was like, "I thought you liked tattoos," and she did not even. And that's why I put crack on for Ariel as a host, because I love that she just calls people out, and she like gets to know, I think, you know, what they want in a person, and then calls them out on it. So I love that she called Caitlin out. She was like, "Well, here's tattoos. You said you wanted tattoos."
Yeah, crack one for Ariel as well for me, because like I did like the goofiness that she had in the opening scene. Like, I know we're kind of like womp womp about it being Vegas, but like the fact that she wanted to do that, I'm sure that was her idea, to be like, let's have a silly opening. And so I like that she kind of can make fun of herself. She's obviously gorgeous, and that she does it seems like she's putting her time into this show, not just like coming on as the host. It seems like she's invested as well. So I do like that. She's a crack on for sure.
And I like she holds people accountable too. I love that.
So yeah, nobody stepped forward for James, but then he ended up choosing Moira. I guess Moira said that she was looking for an instant connection, and James said he thought he felt that with Moira. And so that'll be interesting. I thought it was gonna be interesting to see how that progressed. So I was saying, for the fact that he chose her, that's a crack on, because I think
I think that there's no one else that he would have chosen that would have worked. And just by what there was, like, I think it was, I forget which girl it was, but she said it was really refreshing to see her with James and then kind of come out of her shell, because when it was her and all the girls, she was very quiet, very reserved, which I was not expecting, because when she's talking in her intro video, obviously she's going to be talking. And she just seemed to be a little, I don't know. So I was surprised that one of the girls had noticed that she had come out of her shell when she was just hanging out with James. So that was a crack on for me.
Agreed. I do like that. Obviously, I'm watching the show for connection, so I want to see that. I'm not watching the show for anybody at the end to like take the money and run. Like, I want it to work. and The Bachelorette, I want it to work. I watch these shows because I want to see the love story. I don't want to see them breaking up. I don't want to see them not working. I don't want to see, you know what I mean?
Like Hannah Brown and Jed and
don't get me started. Actually, I guess we'll probably end up talking a little bit about it. Yes. So next we have Trey. He's another personal trainer. So that's, seems like it's the Instagram model profession is a personal trainer. Did he play college football or just high school football?
I think college football. I think he has a tattoo. I want to say it's Ohio State tattoo on his pectoral muscle. I could be wrong, but
he's a reformed player. So personally, when I saw his package, I was very turned off by him as a person that would be participating in the show. I know that I'm sure the producers and the casting wants him to play up his playerness, just to seem like there's some sort of diversity in the type of people that are coming on the show. But as I just said, I want people to fall in love, and I don't want some guy that's just going around trying to bang chicks. It's just...
Well, then they shouldn't have gotten a college athlete. To be honest, and I think I told you last night, I was surprised that no one did step forward for him, because I thought at least one or two, I probably would have, if I hadn't seen his intro package and I had just seen him, I probably would have stepped forward. Because I think he's very attractive, but yeah, I mean, my opinion changed on him throughout the course of the show. But yeah.
Yeah, I think he's attractive. Obviously, he has a nice smile and a nice body. And
one of them did point out he had flirtatious eyes, which I didn't think about until they said it, and I was like, oh, that's true.
He does look like he's undressing you for sure.
Yeah.
Which, if you're looking for love, that comes across as a player. So that might have been what people were witnessing. They didn't want to step forward because they just didn't trust there was no sincerity seemingly in his eyes.
And it's also such a mug off when someone calls themselves a player, even though he said he's a reformed player. Like, did you diagnose yourself with that, or did someone else tell you that? I don't know.
Saying that because he's not doesn't have 10 girls on the go right now, but
yeah, it's almost like he's proud of it and wants to be yeah, I was a player.
Yeah, I
think he's young too, right?
Pardon?
He's young too, right?
He's 25, so
young. Yeah,
I mean, it's 25 for this show. I would say should be the youngest.
I would say that should be the lowest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's okay that he's 25, but yeah, I wish obviously that everybody was older, but you can't have it all. So nobody steps forward for him, which was interesting. I mean, I hope he got a little bit of an ego check there, but then he goes in for the kill and he decides to swipe Seely out from Jeremiah's hug or embrace. So what did you think of that move? I mean, I knew it was coming.
Yeah. I think I was waiting for someone to do it, and I wasn't surprised that he did. Yeah, I mean, again, not casting people with different tastes, because the whole episode, I think people are going after two girls, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I didn't like that. Obviously, I'm sure that the producers egged him on to do that.
Yeah, they always have to have someone steal.
All the original people are usually whatever. Nobody's really oh my god, I can't believe you did that. They don't know each other.
I think in the UK, for Hannah, I think I think Jonathan, he walked out and he was like, oh my god, I've never seen my type so perfect in front of me before, the boobs, the hair, the lips, and he just went for it. And so that I understand, but he didn't seem to say anything other than she's beautiful. It wasn't she's my exact type, it's my dream girl. If he would have said that, I would have been okay, I could get it, but yeah.
So Conor is up next, 23. Obviously, I feel like this is too young. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
He looks older, though.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Except when he started talking.
I know.
Auditor and an accountant. I said cute but young. He struggles in dating and does it say gets something? Oh no, he struggles in dating.
Yeah, I said I wrote that he's awkward but cute but young. Yeah, I at first that's like an immediate turn on if you are the exact opposite of Trey. Like you're not a reformed player. Like you're really actually bad at the game kind of thing. Like that's more of a turn on for me. But I was waiting to see whether or not I believed him saying that, because guys can say that, but are you really? And I think he is truly awkward.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
And so he gives me a Colton from the Bachelor Bachelorette franchise vibe, in the sense that he doesn't have, in my opinion, any swagger. Like he's just like, maybe he's a virgin. I don't care if he is or if he isn't. I'm just kind of like categorizing the vibe or lack of vibe that he was giving off. You know, we've learned now that Colton has a book that he had when he was being asked to be the Bachelor, that he was having questions of confusion for his own sexuality. And so that kind of conversation that he's having with himself, I think he might be having with himself as well. So I'm not saying that he has a particular preference, but I feel as though without having the swagger, not really having that many relationships with women, that I wouldn't be surprised if it came out later down the road that he was maybe contemplating his sexuality, and that maybe he even is a virgin, maybe.
I noted that too, that I think he's he seems unsure of himself. Like I think he knows how to dress just because of like how society tells him he should dress, but I don't think he feels comfortable dressing like that, or I don't think he feels comfortable really in his own skin almost. And it shows. Not hating on it. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's just an observation.
Yeah.
And so like, with Colton's season, I didn't enjoy the season of Colton's because I didn't find that he had a connection with anybody, because I don't think he knew what he actually wanted. And so that's what it's kind of like a red flag for me. And like, we'll talk about it probably a little bit further in the episode, about that relationship that starts, is that it seems as though he doesn't know how to be a guy in a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And
no, I agree. And same with Cole, and they played it up way too much, the whole virgin thing.
Oh yeah, I mean
it was painful. I think that was one of the most painfully produced seasons of The Bachelor.
I did not like that season.
No.
But also though, it could, I don't remember how old Colton was, but it could be the age thing, you know what I mean? Like at 23, like, you know, especially with a more so fluid society that we live in, like more questions might be coming up with like who you are attracted to and what type of person that you would like to be in a relationship with. And so that's also why I think 23 is a little bit young, is that he hasn't had a lot of life experience to know what he wants, and or even articulate what he might want. So I think he's cute. I'm giving him a crack on because I think his intentions are pure. I think he's a good guy, but mug off in the sense that like I think he's too young, but he's a crack on in general for me.
Crack on for sure, but mug off in the sense that I need to date someone that knows what they want and who they are, kind of thing. So
exactly.
But
so hopefully he'll
I hope he finds it on this journey.
So Mackenzie steps forward for him, and he accepts this. What do you think about this as an initial couple?
I think on if you were to just line all of this cast up, I think, and you were to guess who would be coupled up with who, I think I would immediately couple those two up. They're both very good looking. Like I said, she's private, so I feel like she kind of thinks he's a little bit mysterious in a sense. And when he talks to, I thought he was like trying to look like that. Like he kind of like has like this like smoldering look, and I don't know. So I don't know. I could see her going for that. And he is very attractive.
I do too, but we'll talk about it, I'm sure. I don't know if he's man enough for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, I wrote that. Yeah.
So next up we have Carrington, another youngin from Utah. He's a sales manager. I said he's cute but young, which is my comment for many of these boys. He feels as though he's an 11 out of 10. He loves blondes that are 5'6" or 5'7". Isn't he?
Tan blondes.
Gem.
Yeah, I wrote arrogant, douchebag, gross.
Absolutely, and it's just.
And under my mug off list, I literally wrote number 3, Carrington. Oh my gosh. I mean, they need, I think, kind of like a villain-ish person for each season. And I think, I mean, oh my God. How old is he?
23.
He acts like he's 18, but even younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I can't.
Caitlin steps forward for him. Now, do you think it's just because?
I think looks-wise, she stepped forward. I didn't, like I said, I didn't think that highly of Caitlin to begin with, and so when she picked him, I thought even less of her. Like when she stepped forward for him. But I can see why he picked her. I think ideally he would have picked Mackenzie, but then I think he looked at Conor and is not as confident as he says he is, and probably thought, Conor. I think Conor's more attractive than him for sure, but.
Well, I mean, maybe Carrington in like 15 years after he's like lived a bit of a life, I might find him to be more attractive, but like right now, like the teenage playboy is it's not really appealing to me.
The second he opened his mouth, I was just, no. Thank you. So I'm happy with him and Caitlin.
Right?
I don't think highly of either of them, both mug off.
So in the end, Justine and Jeremiah end up getting put together, which is kind of awkward for the fact that Justine originally stepped forward for Jeremiah. Jeremiah wasn't initially interested, and then they got lumped together. So I felt bad about that situation. It's kind of what becomes a little bit of a theme throughout the episode. But
and I did write for a crack on like that. Justine actually ended up stepping up and making an effort to say, why are we not giving this a shot? And so I wrote that as a crack on, especially for her personality, like to get turned down and then still try and make the effort and still try to find love, I think was very admirable and not something I think I would have done.
Absolutely. And also with her kind of recognizing that Moira and James are really kind of hitting it off and she's coming out of her shell, and Justine is wanting that for herself as well. And so that's something that I really do feel as though reality TV casting needs to recognize that it's really societally damaging for the people of color to have a more difficult time finding a love relationship on these reality game shows. I know it's a game show, but it lends people to having the idea that they're not good enough, they're not pretty enough, like they're not likable. Like it's just easy to follow that narrative when time and time again you come into these situations where nobody wants to be with you. You know what I mean?
Well, and the Netflix show you and I have talked about, not dating around. It's the blind, like where they literally couldn't see each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, Lauren and Cameron, I stand them so hard from the first episode, but they knew his exact type. They knew exactly like what he was looking for, and then that made me really happy because that was, to me, I feel like kind of a dead giveaway that those two were gonna make it, and they're still so cute together. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, I don't know. It was the whole episode for me was like heartbreaking for her because
she's beautiful and she's like seen from what I've noticed so far has a lot to offer, and and
was a bigger person and tried to like still push past it, and then he later on pissed me off really. My last mug off on the list was Jeremiah's reaction to getting a date with Rachel. He's right in front of her. He's jumping up and down, screaming, cheering, like fake fainted, like showing your age, buddy. But just watching her face after they had that conversation, that killed me.
I mean, whatever. Hopefully
they better bring in like the best guy for her.
I know. I mean, hopefully it will happen. It's happened in the UK at least, that the person that didn't seem like they're finding their person, they end up finding it. Oh, it was Shanice, what was her name? Shanice in the most recent season 6 of Love Island UK. So she kept on being mugged off by different guys.
The brunette girl.
Yeah, and then she ended up with the cutest guy.
They almost won, didn't they?
Almost won.
Yeah, I was rooting for them just because I was so happy that she finally found someone.
And they live together now, and they do TikToks together, like dance TikToks, and like
that will happen for Justine. I'm putting it out there. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, let's see that narrative, because I'm really bored with the African American or female of color having a more challenging time finding love on these shows.
Well, and it makes it seem like that they're not even really trying. They're just kind of putting her on the show to put her on the show.
Mm.
And they're not really, I don't know. It makes me have kind of a jaded view of it.
If they could maybe I know that they're trying to do the exact mimic of the UK version, but what if they brought in a little bit of Are You the One? Do you watch that?
No.
Ooh, there's something you could definitely go back and watch.
I saw on the challenge like that they came on.
It's crap TV for sure, but it's good stuff. So basically, I think you have like 5 or 6 seasons, and they're.
Is it exes?
Pardon?
Is it exes?
No, so everybody's single that goes into the house are supposed to be single, and there's matchmakers, and so every single person has their like ideal match within the house, and so they have a matching ceremony at the end of each episode, and if they get all their perfect matches, they collectively will win the $1 million prize.
$1 million?
I mean, they split it amongst all of them, so it's not that much money. It's like 20 grand, cool. But like, there's like 11 or 12 couples, and so 10 or 11, and so every week they'll see how many matches that they get correct, but not who are the correct couples. And so there's definitely matchmakers that have had all these interviews of like what you want, what you're looking for in a relationship, so their perfect or ideal match is going to be in the house, and so they have to get to know people and see like who, like, like who am I vibing with, like am I just going to go back to who I've always been dating, or like am I going to try something a little bit different, and like really whatever. And so a lot of those couples have stayed together, which is interesting, right? Yeah. So
that's why I like Love is Blind too. I was telling during Big Brother Cheesecake, I was like, I think I binged the whole season in a few nights, and then I was just talking to him like late at night, and I was like, oh, have you seen Love is Blind? And I didn't even realize he was roasting me. He was like asking me questions, just setting me up to like prove him right. Yeah, just like prove him right that it's like all trash and whatever. He's like, oh, so did they, I forget what he said, but it was like after Lindsay was like, Nick, you're so mean. No, I didn't even realize. But I thought that was different for Love is Blind because they obviously couldn't see each other, and they had to just get to know personality first, which is so different than any dating show that is on TV now. So
it's kind of like, wouldn't we really just rather see, like I do, what happens when you put people that might actually have a relationship together? Like, why are they so scared of them finding love? Like, I think they worry that they're not going to get the drama that they want. Like, put people that are compatible that will most likely date. You will get drama no matter what. There's alcohol and there's hot bodies. Like,
for Love is Blind, apparently they had they only aired, I think, 5 couples, but they had, I think, 10 other couples that ended up working out. Absolutely. And that was boring to them. Like, they wanted to just show, the controversial ones, which I get, but I'm happy it worked for other people. I would still like to watch it, though, even though it might be boring, but I think it's still...
I mean, I don't find it boring. I love seeing the real connections. So... maybe I just need to become a producer and just like make my own show and see if people will watch it. It'll be like for women that are 40 and up looking for love with a hot guy that's not in their 20s.
That's not a player. What did he call himself? What did Trey call himself? A reformed player?
That's not
none of those.
So then we also get introduced to the only single that's going to be in the group. Oh, look at you all smiles, fixing your hair, getting ready for Johnny, 22. He's from Virginia. He's a student. He grew up with 3 sisters, which made him really learn how to treat and value women, which I think is a really great quality because, you know, you don't necessarily want another man to treat your sister in a negative way. And so he learned that he would want to treat women in a really like honorable way. And so I love that about him. He doesn't come across as 22 to me.
No. Seems much older.
Maybe 25, but like he's still
much older than the other 22-year-old.
Yeah, who was that? Yeah, he seemed older than Jeremiah for sure. So it could be because he's an athlete. You know, he's had some relationships. I don't know, but definitely seemed a lot older than 22 in my book. So.
He seems wise for his age. I wrote down feminist. That was just like the one word to sum up what you said about him talking about having strong female relationships in his family. And I wrote chill, which is a huge plus.
And he has coiffed facial hair, but it didn't bother me.
Yeah, no, not at all. He's the hottest one there for sure.
Hottest one, hands down.
Yeah, I love looking at him.
And he has a bit of a swagger to him.
Oh, yeah. He's confident, but he's not cocky. Yeah,
so he's definitely a crack on, I would say.
The definition of,
Oh my God, yeah, I totally agree.
I literally wrote number 3, Johnny for crack on. I'm obsessed.
Maybe, you know, he'll end up after the show single and you'll be able to meet him.
I'll go find him in Virginia.
Yeah, I don't even know where it is on the map, but that seems far. So one thing I didn't understand though, why are all the girls older than all the guys? You know what I mean? There's only the 27-year-old, which is James. And then everybody else, all the women the youngest woman is 24, but the youngest guy is 22. Like I
think they like the drama of the guys, like doing what Jeremiah did to Justine, like being, you know, instead of being the rational thinker and doing what I would have done in that situation, he just goes and picks, I don't know, like thinks with a different head more so. And I think that's what they want in the cast.
They think they don't seem to understand the actual formula. You know, in the States, I'm just like, this is not what we love about Love Island UK. I know it became a huge phenomenon and people are like, oh my God, just talking about it all over the place. But it's because the people that they bring in want a relationship.
It gives us hope.
Anyway.
And I love seeing it. But yeah, no, for sure. I think, as of right now, 100% Johnny, I think, could take the whole thing after just one episode of seeing him.
Like, for instance, they want the drama of Amber and Michael, right? But that happened organically because both of them wanted a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I don't think Michael went in there trying to be a player. Like, he might have been a little bit, but like, I think that they did have a connection.
Yeah.
And the fact that how everything went, like, was like, oh my God, we're heartbroken. She was really all in here. That's not what we were looking for. It happened organically because we were invested of them to getting to know each other. Right. And so it seems like they think that what was good about that was how it all ended up. But no, it's because we were invested in Amber actually starting to open up and find a relationship with him. And that's
realizing, and then they have the formula all wrong, but
it's not about the drama. It's about us really being connected to these people and wanting them to find love. You ding dongs.
Yes, because that's what draws you into a show, wanting to see, like, following the people. If the people are stuck, you're not going to care.
Exactly.
And that's why it was hard for me to start. Like, I care about a few people, but I'd say 60% of them, mostly the guys.
Exactly. And it's probably because they're so young. So one thing that's on my question list is Suck or Blow as a game, like in this episode. What do you think about it?
I love the icebreaker game in general. Because like I said, even if Jeremiah just like said yes to Justine, he can still be kissing any of the other girls because of the games that they play every night. So, you know what I mean? If you saw, you're with Justine, but if you kiss someone else, or you know what I mean, like from a dare or whatever it was, then you realized that you had, a connection with that person, So I love the games because I think it gives them an opportunity to see whether or not they do have connections with other people. With it being kind of harmless, like they're not going off into a corner and like making out. Well, not yet, but
me too. Yeah,
I love the icebreaker game. The second blow is kind of. I just watched that on the challenge, Battle of the X's. They just did this, so I was like a little bored, but I love the icebreaker games in general. I wrote that for Crack On.
Yeah, it's Crack On for me too. That's one thing that I definitely like about Love Island in general is these little games or the strip tease or like, you know, I like that part. Even you know, when they have like the Twitter response games that are like, you know, to cause
who said
like,
this about this person, or
I still like that. So all the little games that they play within it, they're pretty much Crack On for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I don't even know how to get through all the intermixing. So was it, who started to go after Caitlin first? Was it Johnny?
I was getting Caitlin and Sally or Sealy confused a bit the first time I watched it, but I think he went for either her or Sally.
No, he ends up with Sally at the end.
No, yeah, but I think he talked to both of them, but then because I remember him talking to Mackenzie about it, just kind of trying to see. I think she's kind of being the like therapist role kind of. She was like, I think you know, no matter who you choose, you have it. And then he was like, well, who's interested? And then she told Johnny that Trey actually kissed Caitlin. And
with the classic, is there sweat on my upper lip? Let me go. Like
after she says, don't wipe my makeup off. Like,
I don't know. If I ask a guy if there was sweat on my upper lip, like obviously I'd just go like this. Like I really would. And then he goes in for the kiss there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess there's a little bit of swagger in that.
She set him up for, I mean, like, she basically said, look at my lips. Of course, yeah. I don't really like Caitlin, but I think Johnny was kind of thrown that he did have a conversation with Caitlin, and I think he was trying to decide between Caitlin or Sally. But the fact that he didn't know that Trey had kissed Caitlin, I think threw him off a bit, and I think that's ultimately what made him
choose Sally in the end.
Because Sally had been nothing but upfront about everything.
Now, what do you think then of them as a couple? Crack on or mug off?
Oh, Crack On. I wrote Johnny picking Sally, yay. Crack On.
I'm in. Me too. I
like them a lot.
She seems like she could be one that gets a little drama kind of going around her. I just hope that she goes in with him and not like have a wandering eye. You know what I mean?
She says she knows what she wants, and so we'll see. I mean, she said she's a smitten kitten, but I mean, I don't blame her.
I'm happy about that. Also, another conversation that I would want to talk about is the Conor Mackenzie one. He's saying that he's old-fashioned. I think that he's too young and not sexually experienced enough to know what he wants. That's what I wrote down, kind of like a Colton, because
I would believe him if he said something about like religion playing a part of it, but he just said I'm old-fashioned with like kind of no context, and then it's super awkward. So it kind of.
Well, does old-fashioned mean virgin?
Yeah, I take old-fashioned as like not kissing, like on a first date, waiting till marriage, like that kind of old-fashioned. So.
Well, and this is what I'm worried for Mackenzie, because she's kind of like, well, I'm always the one that's coming up out to you. And he's like, oh, I didn't mean to like make you feel that way or whatever. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Definitely Mackenzie is the type of girl that guys approach her. So I don't think that this is going to make her like him more. I think it's going to actually end up turning her off, because regardless of whether they're millionaires or whatnot, the people that are willing to approach her have swagger and
the confidence too.
well, yeah, I mean, swagger and confidence kind of go hand in hand for me. And so, and I don't think he has that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she gets swooped up by the next single that comes into Villa, because he can't handle having someone so strikingly beautiful. You know what I mean? Like that prototype. Even though she's,
I think Colton is a very good.
Say again?
I think Colton's a very good comparison. The more you're talking about it, the more I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna go one or two ways. She's either gonna be intrigued and flattered, but if she didn't say that she dated millionaires, I would maybe think that more so. But I think that kind of happened on season 1, no? A little bit with the couple that ended up winning. I think it's Dylan and the blonde girl. I
don't remember the ending of that. I think I might have tuned out.
I'll send you a picture of them after, but I think that was kind of similar. Like she was ready to just like finally settle down, and he was like unsure in the beginning, but then she liked that he wasn't a player, that he actually didn't know how to like talk to girls, and so she kind of ended up liking that and kind of going for it. And they ended up winning, but
though, and I would assume that many people have the same criteria as I do here. And it comes from a famous line that my acting coach a long time ago said. He's like, if the kiss ain't great, legs don't separate. And I think these are words to live by, because I personally love a good kiss. And if somebody doesn't kiss well, it's just kind of like a no, like a hard no. Mm-hmm. So I feel, because we also heard that Colton was not a good kisser. And if the experience level with Conor is similar, I wouldn't be surprised if he's also not a good kisser, which would be, in my opinion, a major turnoff.
I agree with you. I think you're gonna end up being right, but given how much I hate almost every other guy, I'm gonna try to stay positive and I mean, even if I think she's smart enough to where if she sees like you said, when they do the Twitter games and things like that, if she starts to realize that America loves Conor, I think she'll kind of stick with him to get the money, kind of thing, and then after break up.
I think someone's gonna swoop in with more confidence and try to get her like
a fuckboy. Yeah, I think so too. Then America will love Conor, and then maybe Conor and Justine would be good together.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm trying.
I mean, I think that she definitely likes a man with confidence, and he doesn't like. Confidence is the most attractive thing in another person, male, female, however you identify. Like confidence is huge. It's definitely a turn on. So I don't see him having enough confidence for any of the women really in that house.
I wrote a mug off was Carrington throwing the ball from the pool at Johnny and Caitlin.
Yes, that's definitely, I didn't write it down, but it was something I was going to mention. Like, obviously, that's such a 19-year-old type of thing to do.
It literally 3, Carrington, 4, Carrington throwing the ball at Johnny and Caitlin. Like, I cannot stand the kid. Yeah, that was so immature. I don't blame Johnny for throwing it right back to him, and he missed catching it, so he even looked stupid. But yeah.
But so, I mean, do you think that the new women coming in the next episode actually chose Carrington and Jeremiah? Or do you think that that was the producers choosing those two people?
I think it was the producers, because they know that Jeremiah is not about Justine. Like, that's drama right there. The fact that they showed Justine be vulnerable and be like, let's just give it a try. And then I don't know how long the timeline was, but it looked like pretty much right after he gets, I got a text, and then it's about him going on a date. Like, that was so awful. Why couldn't they have done that to any other girl? Which, it makes me mad. But then also, I think that Carrington knew that Caitlin had made out with Trey, and that Caitlin was thinking about Johnny. And I think Carrington was pretty scared that Johnny was going to pick Caitlin You could just see his face at the ceremony. He just looked a little terrified. So, yeah, and like I said, he's just like the villain, not the villain, but
yeah.
Ugh,
I get it. I mean, I don't picture him being there all the way to the end. Oh, another thing I don't know if you caught, but Trey at one point says like going to win in the end, or said to win the money or something like that. And I was like, see, he's not here for the right reasons. It's supposed to be the added bonus. And so I think that he is not going to be able to have a girl that wants to stay with them, and I think that his girl is going to get swooped up. I predict that Trey's not going to make it to the end. Same with Carrington, I don't think he's going to make it to the end, and Conor as well, I don't think he's going to make it to the end. Anybody that has a hint more of intrigue, confidence, could swoop up any of those girls.
I also wrote down for a mug off, Trey leading the boys in a jealousy convo about Johnny, because Trey was like, he's in the perfect position, like he didn't even have any girls like step up to him. He just gets to go to the girls that he wants. And it was all the guys like not like harshly talking about Johnny, but just basically being poor sport, saying that he's like the best set up for the game right now because he's in the position he's in. But honestly, I think they did that for a reason. I think he's the only one out of all of the guys that could handle the situation the way he did, and you know,
and get a girl to be actually interested in them, because all those other guys, like I'm all like,
like Jeremiah would have crashed and burned, James would have crashed and burned, Trey would have made out with everyone if he could, Conor wouldn't have talked to anyone and probably left on his own, Carrington, oh my god, like he's in the 6th spot for a reason, and it was just a mug off for me to see all of them hating on him,
Johnny. Yeah.
But I wrote crack on for all the girls being nice to each other and kind of letting each other know what's going on. Like when Caitlin did tell Selly, or whatever her name is, Sealy, when she did tell her that Trey had made out with her, I was like, okay, like a little respecter in there. Mm-hmm. And they all see it. And then was it Mackenzie that was helping Justine when she was crying? That that was an unlikely duo that I didn't think would connect, and I was happy to see that happen.
What crack on for me too was I didn't think that I would see Mackenzie without makeup.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I wrote crack on that the girl, like most of the girls seemed to not have makeup on when they went to bed, which I thought was a first, because even in the UK, I don't think many of them
they get ready every morning. They don't spend very long without having any makeup, which is fine. They're on a TV show, like I get that, but I was surprised that Mackenzie had that whole conversation that was aired where she was completely barefaced, and so
she didn't look. She was still very pretty. Like it didn't seem like she looked like a completely different person without makeup. But yeah, that was points for Mackenzie for sure, because out of all the girls, I would just by the intro assume that she would be one to not take off her makeup. So yeah, I was happy about that.
My last crack on was that Caitlin was a Gemini and Trey was a Sagittarius, and they knew about their signs a little bit.
I thought of you immediately.
So I'm gonna actually see if I can find everybody's sign for next. I don't know if we're gonna do this tomorrow or like I don't know. We'll talk about it.
I was gonna ask you if you had that written down already of what everyone has.
Those two. I'm gonna go through everybody, and then I'm also gonna go through how many Instagram followers I have. So I'll do that tonight. We'll say.
Please
do you have any crack-ons or mug offs that we haven't talked about?
No, I think we got it all. My last crack on was Johnny picking Selly, yay. My last mug off was Jeremiah's reaction to getting a date with Rachel.
Yeah, thumbs down. I can't remember exactly, but the next girls that are coming on seem a little interesting, which like I think they might shake things up a little bit. I think the guys are just too lame, but we'll see.
They need to get better guys. The guys are the problem, I think, in this season. The girls are interesting enough, and I like 3 out of 5 of them like pretty well. So, but the guys, I really only like Johnny.
Me too, so far.
So they gotta step their game up. Hopefully, they're just waiting till the end.
And I mean, I wonder also, this is a little bit of a tinfoil hat situation here, but do you think that Moira and James actually are super into each other as much as they're saying? Or do you think they're playing a little bit of the game a little bit? They're both the two oldest people in the house, 27 and 28. Yes, they may know what they want, but they also may know how to just get into a relationship for the money.
Yeah, I think I could definitely see that on Moira's end. I could see James kind of being the one that ends up getting his heart broken at the end of this. But I could see him staying with her because he doesn't see a connection with anyone else and he just feels comfortable with her. But like I said, she's very vague, simple. I don't really know what to think about her, and she's very quiet apparently. So I could see.
I mean, I want them to find love if that's the real thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Part of it with them being like so compatible, I don't know. I just thought
comfortable and they don't really see anyone else there for them. And I think that they'll kind of ride it out to the end in hopes that America votes for them.
Agreed. And I don't see anybody coming in and stealing either of them from each other.
No one went for her and she didn't go for anyone. Yeah, she didn't go for anyone either. Yeah, I think they were kind of cast like to be an easy like duh, but
anyways, I mean, I think it was a pretty good first episode. I've 100%, I said it already, like it better than last season. I think that they're figuring it out a little bit more. We've already talked about it, but I like the location so far. It hasn't seemed to taken me away from what I like about Love Island on an actual island.
Except where are they going to go on dates? Where do you think they'll go? Like just a different
downstairs,
like below where it's like set up to look cute or something?
Probably.
And like where's not the fantasy suite, what do they call it?
Hideaway. I'm sure it's just another room in a hotel. Like,
yeah,
they can find a lot of other rooms, and they can definitely make things like, let's go to the 12th floor, and there's like another little oasis over there, like a different vibe. I'm sure there's tons of stuff in that hotel.
And there's probably multiple pools and jacuzzis and
right, with the different vibes and whatnot. So I mean, I'm sure that they're paying a lot of money to be there. I'm sure they can get whatever they want.
Agreed. I'm excited.
So, I love talking about this though. This was fun. I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of info to talk about. So
yeah, I think it'll be a little bit shorter with it only be an hour, next time for information and for kind of just streamlining it more so just to what we like and don't like. But yeah, I think we got a pretty good grasp on the people that are playing and, what we're liking about the season so far. So where can the people find you if they're looking for you online, Brazil?
At BabyZill on Instagram and at Zildo Brocco on Twitter. Very bleak Twitter. I just retweet a lot of Big Brother things, but
Reality Realness on Twitter is very, very, very small following as well. So if you want to follow me on there, please at Reality Realness. It's with 3 S's, but there's no E because I just didn't have enough characters. I didn't know if I should put Realness spelled correctly or 3 S's to go along with the brand of it. So it's 3 S's with no E, or you can find me at ShanFranFran on Instagram or at Shan___Fran on Twitter or at Reality Realness on Instagram. / you can find me anywhere all the time. I'm pretty reachable on social media. So if you want it, it can happen. If you haven't already, please subscribe right down below. Hit that like button. Please ring that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we go live or we have a new episode for you. So any last thoughts, Brazil? Anything left to say?
No, I'm excited. Have something to watch tonight. So,
hey, yeah, I'm gonna watch it live, which is so fun. Yeah, I can find it live. Yay! Okay.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Talk tonight, probably.
Okay, for sure.
Bye.
All right. Bye.